Alright, so a couple complications. We got a lot done today. I got the title transferred, got insurance in the car, picked up all the parts. Thanks to Perry for all his help. It wouldn't start, and my theory is that it's because it has bad gas in it. It's been sitting with gas for, honestly, it might still have gas from when I bought it. So gonna try to get some octane booster, or maybe just, honestly, I might just drain out the gas that's in it and put new gas in. Throw some carb cleaner in it and see if it starts. It's cranking fine, and it's done this before and had a hard time getting going once I let it sat, so I think it's just probably a combination of sitting and really old gas. So I'm going to a quick meet with Perry, and I'm probably going to eat a hot dog about it, and then figure it out from there. But yeah, just a small hiccup. All things considered, though, today went really well. Got a lot done with very few hiccups, so one hiccup in the road ain't no thing. But I'll catch up with you when something else is happening regarding the car. It might be tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I had the gas sitting there for a little bit, so I'm just gonna see if it starts. All right. Couldn't get the start. I'll talk about what I think it is here in a minute, but Harrison's towing is back, saving the day again, and we're gonna get this up to back up to my spot so I can start fixing it, hopefully. But for now, onto the flatbed.
I don't even think it's going to scrape.
Alright, maybe I did lift it a little yesterday. Maybe it did
That,
something.
so that's how you do it, eh?
That's how you do it. Not his first rodeo, it seems.
I agree.
Yeah.
So just slide it right up there.
Pretty cool. Car's moved 200 miles since I dug it, and it's driven one of them. Wow. Awesome. All right, so it's been a long day. Got the car towed home, and never figured out why it wasn't starting, but I have an idea. The check engine light stays on when I keyed into accessory mode, and it doesn't turn off. And it does not flash when I jump the OBD1 harness. And the main relay does click, however, the fuel pump does not prime. I opened the fuel filter line and no fuel came out. So I'm going to start in the next couple days by jumping the fuel pump and seeing if the fuel pump will even prime at all. And if it doesn't, then I'm assuming it's probably the fuel pump. And if it does not, then, or if it does rather, then my intuition is that it may be a bad connection on the ECU, which could be a lot of things. So if that's the case, I'll just send the ECU out to get repaired and refurbished. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Probably gonna start doing a couple other things this week with just putting on parts that I've had and haven't had the time to put on yet, amongst other things. So in the meantime, that's kind of the plan. All right, what's up? Happy Father's Day. This won't be out on Father's Day, but it's Father's Day. My son's at Costco, so I took the time to take the ECU out, which is what I suspect went wrong. I'm going to show you that, and then switch it up so it's not all just miserable. I might put the steering wheel in, because that might be enough to make me not be miserable. So here's the ECU. It's behind this kick cover. It's 4 10mm bolts that sandwich onto those studs. There's your harness. Here is the code for a B17 ECU. And I'm gonna take that home, open it up, see what it looks like on the inside. Basically the symptoms that I have right now are that, as you saw, crank no start, check engine light stays on, which is a big one apparently for these. I'm not super knowledgeable with OBD1, so this is me just kind of based on what I've read. It could either mean the ECU's got a fault, or it can mean the wiring's messed up. The wiring in here looks really clean. Doesn't look like anything's really been chewed on or anything. I still want to test the fuel pump to make sure that it primes independently of the ECU. So before I mail this, I'm going to jump the ECU or the fuel pump just to try to eliminate a few things. But yeah, I'm going to crack the ECU open back at the house, send this vendor some photos. I'll link him in the description if this ends up panning out, so that you guys can use them if you need to repair your ECU. And yeah, I'm gonna go blast off the steering wheel real quick and show you. That's insanely easy comparatively, so we get to see what it looks like. But yeah, hold on one second. All right, this is actually decent timing because the battery's dead and the ECU's out. You're gonna want to either disconnect your ECU. Well, that's a bad example, but you're gonna either want to disconnect your ECU or take your battery terminals off to do this if you have a vehicle with a airbag, because the last thing you want is to be fiddling with your steering wheel and have your airbag deploy in your face. So the first step is going to be getting the center out. This little, like, I guess it's a horn button. I don't really know. No, it's not a horn button because it still touches. I don't know what it is, but center cap off, and then you'll get to see the bolt in there. You're also going to want to center your steering wheel as best you can. In my case, my steering wheel is pretty fucking screwed, so I'm not even going to bother really centering it too much because it needs an alignment so bad. But it looks like it's 21, if I remember right. It's either a 21 or a 19, so I'm going to grab both. I'll be right back. All right, I can only find a 19, so let's hope it's a 19. It's a 19. Let's go. If you don't have an impact, this is gonna suck. So if you don't have one, borrow one. Otherwise, you're gonna have to sit here and like try and hold the wheel still and spin it off. Yeah, it's gonna suck. Now there's one step that you want to do. So I'm gonna loosen this before it comes all the way off. Get it loose, because they can get stuck on there, and then if it's stuck on there and you yank it off, you hit yourself in the face. Ask me how I know. There's the 19mm nut. Now, I'm obligated to say it's a nylock nut, so you should really replace it with a new one. I'm not going to. Okay, and then once you're in there, there's one clip with one pin, which is your SRS, I'm assuming. And that just unplugs. Don't fiddle with this too much. There is a clock spring in there somewhere, and if you fuck that up, it's never getting unfucked. So, but yeah, there's the pin. There's one push clip pin in there. As for the nylock nut, you should get a new one. Nylock's really only like kind of one use type situation, but in full transparency, this one looks really healthy for how old it is, and I'm just gonna blast it back on. So do as I say, not as I do. Okay, upon further research, I'm just gonna have to, there is one screw, question mark, two screws, yeah. Two Phillips head screws holding this top cap off, and then this unscrews, so pardon me while I get a screwdriver. I wanted to take a brief moment and say hi and thank you to all of you that are here from Instagram and TikTok. I really never expected this car to be as popular as it has become, and I really appreciate you being here and following along, even if it might not be what you would have necessarily done with the car. We're really happy to have you here. So yeah, with that, two screws. There's one that's really obvious, and then there's one behind the adjustment lever to Phillips head, which loosens everything just enough to let you see the screws for whatever the fuck this is. And then there's three very small Phillips head screws holding it on. And if you're anything like me, you're gonna want to be really careful with Phillips, because I'm really good at stripping them out. So apply pressure. They probably made it hard to get to because they didn't want you to do this exact thing, if I had to guess. There's a snap ring. I don't know if I need that again. Just gonna kind of fiddle this around. Okay, I see the plug now. It's wrapped in like old foam. It's disgusting. There's some form of ABS or something into the parts bin. Okay, and now we can shove all this back together. If you think you're going to want a horn, I'm not worrying about it right now because that's honestly the last of my concerns. But there's this ground wire. So basically, I don't know if the ground must touch this somehow. I'm not entirely sure how. But these two tabs line up with the two tabs on the piece that's OEM. So you want to make sure that goes on correct. That honestly might be what delivers the ground, I'm not sure. And then this piece will sandwich between the wheel and the hub, and the wire will just connect right here. And then when you get a horn button, that's the other thing, I don't even have a horn button, so no point in thinking about that right now. But when you have a horn button, then it just completes the circuit when you press the button. I'm going to thread my bolt back on. Zip why is this dying? And on that bolt, you want to be fairly generous. This is a brand new impact, so I'm not going crazy on it, but yeah, you want to be fairly generous with the torque you put on that. You really don't want that coming loose. And yes, before you ask, I've had them come loose. It's not a good time, especially not when you're on the track. Okay, and then now I get to show you the new wheel, which I'm really excited about. So this, it's all wet because this is my Jeff's Emporium steering wheel. It's really tiny, and I think it's gonna look really cool in this car. So I'm using a Momo hub. I meant to say this. I am a big advocate of these because, let me show you. So basically, on the inside of the hub, there are 3 or 4 maybe arms that go down to the base. You can kind of see them here. And they also have holes in them. And the NRG hub, while I know it's easier to, maybe easier to work with because it's shorter, And then also, if you're thinking you're going to get a quick release, you have to consider you're going to have the wheel significantly further away from where it usually mounts to, because this wheel, if you were to look at the distance, right, we're already basically where the OEM wheel sits in terms of distance. So if you're adding a quick release, it's going to be even further away. That's going to change the ergonomics of where you sit and how you drive. So it's something to consider, at least. The Momo hub, which is the only hub that I've ever used in any car that I've done a steering wheel in, is great because if you crash, it will collapse and it will not leave a hole in your chest. These arms are built to, when you apply crash force to them, crush that way. And it's really the only design I would trust. So that's just my 2 cents. Do what you want, but that's what I would do. So that's why I always choose Momo. I'm gonna go ahead and thread these to get them started. That looks so funny. I can't wait to show you guys the view from the seat here. All right, here's my view. And just for reference, here's a stock steering wheel next to the new one. Look at how, look at how stupid that looks. And here's my hand on the wheel. Look at how, I mean, it looks honestly pretty normal on camera, but I mean, it is. There's my hand. It's really tiny. And there's a sticker from a really long time ago I found in the car. So if you think we should bring those back, let me know. I really like those. Hopefully NASCAR doesn't get mad at us, but all right. Oop, I'm gonna put this back in there, put the impact back. And steering wheels are a really easy install. I think they're a really cool mod to do. It's just, you got to be safe with it. So use a Momo hub. Honestly, I would recommend, if you're doing a wood grain steering wheel like this, or something that's going to hurt if you hit it, you know, I mean, firstly, don't get an eBay steering wheel. NRG is like barely acceptable. If you're going to get a shitty wheel, get an NRG. If you're going to get a nice wheel, get a, you know, whatever, Personal, Momo, Sparco. They all make great wheels. There's so many to choose from. Nardi's a good one. This is something you don't want to break ever. So get a good one. Don't get a cheap one. And for reference, I don't remember exactly how much I paid for this one, but it was not cheap. But it is also unibody. The spoke design runs through the entire wheel, which is really important. And yeah, make sure that you get it set up in a way that you won't die if you crash. But there's the wheel. I'm really happy with how that came out. And I'm gonna go get the ECU back home, and then I'll show you the inside and we'll learn together, because I genuinely don't know what I'm looking for when I look at the inside of an ECU. I'm bad with electrics, so we'll learn together. But all right, yeah, that's it for a moment. All right, it's been a few days, and well, it's been 1 day, I think, and I have made a little bit of progress. I've talked to a lot of people about the no start issue, and we have kind of concluded that it is more than likely the ECU. So I haven't even had time to test the fuel pump. I'm kind of just shotgunning an ECU at it and hoping that that's the problem, which probably isn't the best method, but it is what I'm doing. So no, in all likelihood, it is really probably the ECU. So it's a pretty cheap fix. I found a great vendor on eBay who has been awesome to work with so far, and shipped to them the ECU this morning. So it'll probably be here by the end of the week, and then we'll get to see if that fixes the issue. If not, we will continue diagnosing. But in the meantime, I have a couple of trinkets to show you, because I mean, who doesn't love trinkets? Instead of fixing the car, I've decided that I'm just gonna do a bunch of fun little things to keep me motivated, which you know, if you have a project car, people are gonna tell you, get it running first, don't worry about the aesthetic stuff. But sometimes little aesthetic pieces will keep you motivated to keep building the car, and if that's what it takes to get it done, then so be it. So here's a few things that are keeping me motivated. All right, I've got a few things to show off. I love these air fresheners. I think they look awesome. Shout out Oaks Garage. That's the info there. These are great. They smell really good. They look really cool. I've got one in my other Integra, so that's going on there. I'd also like to shout out a huge company for, if you have a DA 9093 My buddy through the forums runs this company. He makes a ton of OEM reproduction 3D printed stuff. So these are something that you can't even really buy anymore. They're delete plates for the front trim here. So I'm gonna take these off. I'll show you how to do that, how easy it is to install these to get rid of that ugly looking thing. Those are awesome. He also remanufactures OEM badges, which again are impossible to find. So right now, obviously no front badge, and it has the Acura rear badge. This one would be the front badge with the black, I think. And then this one would be the floating rear one. And this is the one that you absolutely can't find, which is the GSR badge. Mine's not in terrible condition over here, but you can see how much cleaner the new one is and just how close to OEM it is. I mean, with my naked eye, if I saw this on a car, I don't think I'd be able to tell it's not an OEM badge. So I don't know how long they last. I've never used them before, but the only one I didn't get is the Integra one because I think that one's gonna clean up, and I might not even run it. I might just, I might strip the Acura and the Integra and just run the Honda GSR badge, just because it's a lot going on back there with the badges. But so that's the badges that he makes. And then my other buddy, I want to do a couple shout outs. Annoying. My buddy Devin has been hugely instrumental in the channel and helping us with all kinds of stuff. He does a bunch of rotary stuff. We interviewed one of his friends. I'm going to link the video here. That's a great video to go watch. Love his stuff. And then also my other very good friend, 999 Defense, makes a bunch of cool stuff. So I've got a couple of stickers from him going on there. They'll sit still. There's another annoying badge. And then Get Japan does a bunch of great import goods. I don't have anything specifically from him on this car yet. We probably will soon. But he is the one who did the remanufactured stickers for my AVS Model 6 on my 8th gen. So I'm going to figure out where to put all of this, but we're going to start with doing the delete plates. And this is arguably one of the simplest things you can do. Depends on what state you live on, or live in rather, if this is legal to run no front plate. This is just going to be 2 Phillips screws, and this feels like these might strip out, so this might suck, but we'll see. One down. Oh, we got them both. Let's go. That's actually huge. I was basically positive these were both going to strip out because of how old and rusty they are. Sometimes it helps to do what I'm doing right now and use a Phillips bit in a, what's this? A 1/4 standard extended socket on a small ratchet. And these are just going to both come out. Easy peasy. All right, and then it's as simple as this. It's got clips on it. Now you want to be gentle with these because these are 3D printed, so it's not like standard plastic where it's like really flexible. It's probably gonna snap before it bends, so I'm being extremely careful. There's just a slot, and they're gonna be angled, so they're gonna angle forward, if you can see that. And then there's just a little slot there, and there you go. It's in there. This side, again being gentle. Look at how much better that looks. Oh my god. And again, this is not a piece that has been produced for decades, so. Alright, our new air freshener. Look at that. Pretty sick. It smells like, I don't know, almost smells like Fruit Loops. Gotta make sure we keep the bracelet on there. That was a bracelet I found in the car when I bought it, so I thought it would be pretty funny to keep it in there. There you go.